Okay, so on this video we're going to look on convex mirror ataupun cermin cembung. Yeah, so in the next example here going to be cermin cembung. So I'm going to write down here cembung. Okay, now, so what is the characteristics of a cermin cembung here? What is the difference here? If you look just now, let's go back through what happens in a concave mirror ataupun cermin cekung. Okay, if you look on the image of a cermin cekung here, the curve of the mirror is exactly facing the object. If you look here, the curve of the mirror is facing the object. Whereas, when we're talking about cermin cembung, for now, what's going to happen, the curve of the mirror here is no more facing the object, but instead facing the opposite side of the object. So, katakanlah ya, so let's say if I have an mirror here, so let's say I have a principal axis, paksi utama, and this is the object that I have. Katakan ini objeknya, maka cermin dia akan melengkung pada arah berlawanan dengan objek. So the mirror is exactly curving on the opposite side. So now, if the curve is on the opposite side, we know the center point, the C point of the circle, going to be on the behind. And therefore, again, remember, the F point will be exactly on the opposite side though, because it's supposed to be between the C and the pole of the mirror here. So the F point will be also here. Okay, so both the F and C now will appear on behind the mirror instead of appearing in front. But again, when you go through any books and so on, kita akan nampak ada F point dengan C point dekat depan tu. That is just kedudukan untuk rujukan saja ya. Kedudukan F dengan C yang kita letak di depan ni cuma untuk rujukan kedudukan saja ya. So it's not the actual F point and the 2F point. The actual F and 2F appears at the back. Okay, the actual F and 2F appears at the back. In front here, the green color here, we only put that as a reference point when we place the object. Now, we also have learned, let me go through back for the cermin cekung. Okay, we also have learned what is exactly a focal point ataupun fokus utama. Titiknya adalah titik pada paksi utama di mana sinar tuju, okay, selari dengan paksi utama menumpu ya, dia akan menumpu ke atas satu titik. And I said dia tak akan mencapai keluar ataupun dia tak akan diverge. Kenapa ya? The diverging occurs on not on this mirror here, but it will happen on your convex mirror ataupun cermin cembung. Maksudnya what happened? Okay, as I said, for the convex mirror here, the F point and the C point are behind the mirror here, yeah? So what going to happen here, previously, when we had, let's say we have a light ray which is parallel to principal axis, cahaya yang selari dengan paksi utama, it's incident on the mirror. What happens previously, let's go through previously in a concave mirror, yeah? A quick revision on the concave mirror. What happens here? Sinar cahaya yang selari dengan paksi utama akan dipantulkan ke arah titik F. Dia menuju ke arah titik F ya, ataupun what we call as a converge to F ataupun menumpu ke arah titik F, and that is your F point here. Manakala untuk case convex mirror ni ataupun cermin cembung ni, sinar cahaya ni akan dipantulkan, tetapi selepas dipantulkan ni F dia dekat belakang. Jadi it is seolah-olah dia akan mencapai keluar ya, seolah-olah sinar cahaya ni dipantulkan seolah-olah mencapai keluar daripada titik F. Mencapai keluar daripada titik F. So that's how it looks here. So that's why the definition of F point here is slightly different. Kalau untuk concave mirror tadi tu, the light ray is converged to one point, whereas here the light ray is diverged out from the focal point. Now let's move on the rules that relates to the convex mirror ataupun kanta cembung. Okay, now for the convex mirror, remember I've already stated the F and 2F point are located behind the mirror ya. Kedua-dua titik F dan C ni dia berada pada kedudukan belakang cermin. Sebab kenapa? Dia lengkungan cermin adalah ke arah belakang, maka F dengan C adalah dia arah belakang. So rule 1 ni, apa dia nyatakan rule 1? Rule 1 ni menyatakan, okay, sinar cahaya yang selari dengan paksi utama, akan dipantulkan seolah-olah keluar daripada titik F. Okay, seolah-olah keluar daripada titik F. Rule kedua pula menyatakan sinar cahaya yang seolah-olah menuju ke arah titik F, akan dipantulkan secara selari dengan paksi utama. Dan rule yang ketiga pula menyatakan bahawa, sinar cahaya yang menuju ke arah titik 2F, akan dipantulkan balik dalam arah yang sama. Okay, so let's go through all the three rules here again. So these are the three rules that is related to the what we call here as a convex mirror. So now let's look on a drawing based on for a convex mirror. Yes, jadi sekarang ni untuk convex mirror ni, position of the object doesn't plays much role. Wherever you're going to position the object, ciri-ciri image dia adalah tetap sama. Sebab kenapa F dengan C adalah pada bahagian belakang. So I'm just going to place my object somewhere here. Okay, I'm going to place the object here. But as I said, it's not going to make any difference wherever you place your object here. Characteristic ataupun ciri-ciri dia adalah tetap sama here. So let's see what I'm going to do here. Firstly, I'm going to use my rule number 2. Rule number 2 yang menyatakan bahawa, rule number 1. Firstly, I'm going to use rule number 1. Yeah, I'm going to use rule number 1, which says a light ray parallel to principal axis reflected away from the titik F. Yeah, jadi let's draw that. Daripada objek, sinar cahaya yang menuju ke arah cermin secara selari akan dipantulkan seolah-olah keluar daripada titik F. So I'm going to draw as though the light ray is reflected away from the F point. And of course, I'm going to have some imaginary lines. Anything behind screen is imaginary line. So I'm going to have a dotted line here. So that's the first law. A light ray parallel to principal axis reflected away from titik F. Next one, I'm going to use rule number 3 here. Rule number 3, which states that a light ray approaching C point will be reflected back on the same direction. Daripada objek ke arah titik C, and it's going to be dotted line behind here. So I'm going to have some dotted line towards the C point. And if you look now, I have an image form exactly at this point here. And this is where my image is formed. My image is exactly formed here. Itu adalah image yang terbentuk. Jadi apa characteristics of the image that I have formed here? First of all, look at the size. The size is smaller, so it becomes smaller. Okay, it has become diminished. So the first one is diminished. Okay, next one here is it virtual or real? It is virtual because it's forming behind the screen. Maka dia adalah maya ya. Virtual, maya. Dan dia upright ke songsang? Tegak ke songsang? Dia adalah tegak, therefore upright. So these are the three characteristics of the image formed by a convex mirror. Regardless where do you position the object. Mana-mana position objek dia pun, dia akan selalunya virtual, upright and diminished. VUD. Therefore, we have already covered everything that we need to know about the plane mirror, concave mirror and convex mirror. I'll see you on the next lesson, which will go into the refraction. See you all.